All right, Coach Hurd, how you doing today?
Doing awesome. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. So you've completed a full year as wide receivers coach. So how does it feel for you coming back for year two?
It's a lot more comfortable. Been more comfortable with the offense. Uh, knowing exactly what Coach Malzahn and Coach Henshaw want out of the offense, and knowing my guys, knowing who they are and what makes them tick. So it's great to be back and have a good group coming back and just decided to get the season going.
How would you say this wide receiver room has grown this year now that you've had them here together for a full year?
You know, we got some freshmen in there, we got some new transfers in there, but I think just the maturity of it. Last year we were a really young group, and the fact that now we got a year older, a lot of these guys have been in the system, so it's trying to just get the plays down and get them detailed, and just detail the details of the small things that end up catching up to us. So with that knowledge and just knowing who they are, just makes it so much better and easier.
So, talk about the growth a little bit of Javad and Kobe, because they were like two of the top three receivers last year. So how have they really progressed in their growth?
We talked about in the offseason what they need to work on skill set wise, and they really went and attacked it. But now they're trying to be more of a leadership role, and try and lead more by example, like every play going out there, working hard, and trying to hold everybody accountable to the standards. Coach Malzahn sets the standard, and so we're trying to live up to the standard he wants, and they're doing a great job of just holding everybody accountable to it.
Who would you say is a wide receiver that is in store for a breakout year?
There's a lot of people that you can name. You got Xavier, you got Chauncey Magwood, you got Trent Whitmore, you got Jalen Griffin, you got Jared Baker. I mean, there's a bunch of people in there that have a chance to really impact this offense in an awesome way. So, the good thing is we got more depth in there, and there's more competition. So everybody's showing up every day working, and it's fun to see. Like they just enjoy being around each other and enjoy just going out there working together.
How important is having that depth now that you're going in the Big 12? Because depth has been something that Coach Malzahn seems to be kind of emphasizing a lot lately.
It's big. Last year we had some injuries at certain different points in time where depth in my room alone got kind of thin, and so to have depth is awesome because it's a long season. The Big 12 is going to be tough, and you don't ever want anybody to get hurt, but that's part of the game that happens. And so to have that depth and knowing that the next guy can come in and get the job done gives everybody a little bit more peace of mind.
What would you say is the biggest difference between the wide receiver room of last year versus this year?
Probably I would say the depth. Bringing in like a Trent Whitmore, Chauncey's, the Corey Gamages, the transfers that come in with experience, not just guys that were just on other teams. They got real game, live experience, and just having that, they've played a lot of football. So this is not going to be nothing new to them. And so for them to be able to come in and make an impact early is awesome, and it makes everybody show up to practice and work every day.
Coach Malzahn talked about how you guys are working on end of game situations in practice. So how does that apply to what you guys are doing in the wide receiver group?
Just understand that what's going on. If you look at the stats, every Big 12 team last year played 4 games that was 1 score or less. And you look at some of those teams that won those games, they had great years, and the ones that didn't have so good of years. So we're just trying to really put an emphasis on it that it's going to come down to the last drive, and the last end of the part of the game. So when you get tired, you got to focus more, and you got to be able to make that play and be counted on. So he puts us in situations where at the end of practice that you got to go make that play when you might not be 100%. And so you got to go make that play no matter what, because this team is counting on you.
So if every survey right, I believe Henshaw said something about a long time ago about wanting to do downfield passes a lot more. So so as far as going down the field passing, what are you working on with the wide receiver room in terms of preparing for that type of thing?
People say just throw it down the field and it's our job to catch it. Well, you have to work on that. So for us, it stresses us out in practice. It's a lot more running, but we have to throw those balls down the field. So we know the angle. We're on the same page with the quarterback. but we are really emphasizing on throwing it down the field, and us being able to make plays down the field, because you might be covered, but the quarterback's told to make sure the wideouts have a chance to catch the ball, give them a chance, and so I'm preaching that the quarterback's going to give you a chance. You got to make the play. And they can't be 50-50 balls anymore. They need to be 75-25 balls. We need to catch 75% of those things, and we're going to have an amazing year.
Who's a guy that has stood out that you can tell, like, oh, this guy is much different and a different level this year than he was maybe a year ago at this time, or who has stood out?
Right now, Xavier Townsend, he really stands out. Jared Baker really stands out. Javon really stands out because, you take Jared, who came in as a wideout, went to DB, and now is back at wideout, and he's just a comfort level. You got Xavier, who was a true freshman last year, who was still trying to learn the position a little bit because he played a lot of running back in high school. And then Javon just coming in, being comfortable with the offense. So I think those guys have done it awesome. And there's other guys that have definitely shown up, but those guys, because of what's happened to them in the past, have really embraced the opportunity that they're getting right now.
What's the most important thing when you get the receivers together? What's one important thing that you want them to accomplish from a technique standpoint, something right away that you're like, we got to get this nailed down before the start of the season?
You know what? There's a lot of stuff you can say, but the biggest thing for me, go out there and give your max effort every play. Because you never know when your time is coming. You don't know what block is going to spring the running back for a long run. You don't know what play is going to separate us in the game. So that's the biggest point. Every play, you've got to go 100%. And when you're on the field, expect the ball to come to you. Don't be surprised if it does. You should be expecting it. So that's probably the biggest thing. And there's a lot of technique stuff we got to get cleaned up, Stu. But if you go out there and give work as hard as you can every play and expect the ball to come to you and make a play, everything else will work itself out.
Do you have vocal leaders there that you like having those vocal leaders?
Yeah,
stand out?
We got some guys trying. I'm encouraging them to be more, but they are definitely trying, and everybody leads in their own different way. They might not be all loud like I am all the time, but there are people in that room trying to lead and carry the group.
What inspired you to get into coaching?
To change the lives of the guys I get to be around. Really, coaches impacted me. My dad was my coach for a long time. Just to be able to change their lives through football and let them know, this is going to end. Let's make sure we're great young men out in society, and just getting them ready for life, because life can throw you some curveballs just like football does, and you just got to be able to react to it and just keep fighting and keep going.
Awesome. Good luck this season, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.